On October 12th, 2022, my doctor told me that I had to make some major drastic lifestyle changes because my cholesterol was super high. My total cholesterol was at 209, my LDL was at 126, and my triglycerides was at 153. At the time, I didn't necessarily know what those numbers meant. I just knew that the numbers were so high that they were literally off the charts. So I did everything I could. I went all in. And I went in for my 3-month progress blood work checkup on January 6th, 2023. In 3 months, my total cholesterol went down by 84 points to 125. My LDL went down by 74 points to 52. And my triglycerides went down by 84 points to 69. And I wanted to make this video because I'm so proud of myself. I wanted to take the time to acknowledge the effort that I put into the last 3 months because it was super hard. And I want to be able to give myself credit to say that, hey, you set a goal and you hit it. And that's awesome. Also, this is a friendly reminder that if you haven't gotten your annual blood test lab work done, do so. There might be something there that you don't necessarily feel, but something that can be addressable, preventable, etc. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to outline exactly what I did in 3 months to see these changes, but I want to start off with a few disclaimers. First, I'm not a medical professional. This is just based on my experience, and 2, every body is different. Every lifestyle is different. I'm definitely not saying that if you do all these things that I did, you will see the same results. And I would add an additional disclaimer there that probably these results aren't typical. I think that I was just I'll talk about this in the rest of the video. I think it was a combination of the positive lifestyle changes that I made, but then also removing the negative lifestyle changes that brought me to such high levels in the first place. All right, let's start with a baseline. If you're new here, hi, my name is Heather. I'm 37 years old. I'm a vegetarian and have been a vegetarian for about 1.5 years. The thing about being vegetarian is that I didn't really learn how to be a vegetarian. I was just like, I think I'm gonna stop eating meat. Also, last summer, 2022, was a rough summer for me. I don't know, I was just kind of at a low point in my life. I also have premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and it was really bad last summer. So I have kind of always been into fitness for most of my life, but in the summer, I just stopped moving. I don't know, it was just a combination of factors. I don't know, I'm sure I was depressed. I already kind of live a sedentary lifestyle. I work from home. I have my own business being a full-time content creator, so I am just always sitting. But on top of living a very sedentary lifestyle, I also stopped exercising. So I was just not moving for a few months there. So with PMDD, I have crazy cravings, absolutely irresistible cravings, specifically for things that are salty and things that are sweet. So 2 things that are not not good contributors to cholesterol levels for sure. I'm not sure how much my lifestyle in 2022 contributed to the increase in my cholesterol levels. I don't have records of the last time I got my blood work done, so I don't know if I've always had high cholesterol. I know high cholesterol kind of tends to run in my family, but unfortunately I don't have numbers before October 2022. So I can't tell you did I increase my cholesterol levels in 6 months or a year, or was this something that kind of was just always there and I didn't know? So I think there were a multitude of factors in my life that were contributing to high cholesterol levels that even if I didn't incorporate anything new and just kind of changed some of the things, some of the lifestyle things I was doing, I think that alone would have made a difference. But incorporating these other things helped me take it from let's decrease a little to let's decrease by 80 points. Now let's talk about the doctor's orders. So during that exam appointment, this is specifically what she told me to do. She said to avoid foods with saturated fat over 10%. And I will tell you right now, saturated fat is something that I never, ever, ever, ever looked at on the nutrition label. Like I looked at macros, so protein, fat, and carbs, but I didn't realize that saturated fat was like the thing that really contributed to cholesterol. I had no idea. And when I became aware of this, I realized that a lot of the things I was eating had way over 10% saturated fat. And if you eat a combination of those things throughout the day, like I'm going way past 100% of the daily value every single day. So off the bat, no eggs, no cheese, no butter for the next 3 months. 3 of my favorite things that I probably ate daily. Also, I was a big fan of fast food. It was really cool as a vegetarian that pretty much, most of the main fast food chains had a vegetarian option or a plant-based option. Our favorite was the Beyond Famous Star at Carl's Jr. Obviously very high in saturated fat. Actually, what is it? I'm going to look this up. Okay, it has 13 grams of saturated fat, which is 65%. So that's just one meal on top of probably having eggs, at least 2 every day. Because I was like, oh yeah, protein. And then probably like some kind of bread and butter or cheese or something. It was not good. She also told me to eat foods that were rich in iron and fiber. So carrots, beets, spinach, lentils, and quinoa. I remember her telling me, just cut up your carrots, cut up beets, and just have them on the kitchen counter and just eat them. Like, forget about cooking them or trying to incorporate them into meals. Like, you need to eat these things every single day. Of course, exercise and cardio, but then also drinking at least 65 ounces of water every single day. So I just basically drink 3 of these water bottles. So here's what I actually did. The first thing, and the thing that I felt like made the most difference, was I signed up for Thistle. So Thistle is one of those meal subscription services, and I'd never done one of these before, but I knew that I needed something because things were so crucial. I needed something that was going to easily help me achieve my goals. I didn't want to necessarily cook anything or spend a lot of time cooking, but also I didn't want stuff that was just like frozen, right? And Thistle is the best of both worlds because they're already made meals. Sometimes you have to heat them up, like you have to heat up the dinners, but it's all fresh. So they deliver twice a week so that everything stays fresh, and you just literally open the box and start eating. You're good to go. I ordered lunches and dinners 6 days a week. They also have breakfasts and snacks, but the things that I needed the most help with were lunches and dinners. And if you look at the ingredients, first of all, they're very plant-based, very, very plant-focused. They do have non-vegetarian options, but, obviously being vegetarian, I went with the vegetarian option, which also is vegan and gluten-free. What surprised me the most about Thistle is that, like, every single meal was super good. It didn't feel like a health food. It didn't feel like I was eating healthy. And it didn't feel like I was restricting myself in any way, which I've always felt every time I've had to, like if I'm going on a diet or something like that, you feel like you're just starving all the time. And they're all so good. There's such variety. I think we went 2.5 months without a single meal repeating, which is crazy. So, it's all kinds of cuisines and different flavors. There's your typical salads, yes, of course, but then there's curries and rice, and like I'm having a taco salad later. It's all kinds of stuff. And the thing that made me stick with Thistle, right? Because I was like, I'll try it for a week. But the thing that made me stick with Thistle was that every single meal is jam-packed with a bunch of ingredients that there's no way in heck I would put together myself. Even if I were like absolutely committed and had the time to go grocery shopping and put all that together, it's just I can't imagine making all of these delicious meals twice a day, every single day for a week. It's just, it's crazy. Like, that's what you're paying for, and when it comes to price, it is expensive, but also not, right? I think it comes down to about $11 to $12 a meal, depending on how many meals you order. So if you order more meals, the price per meal goes down. And my husband was doing it as well. So That's why I say between 11 and 12 bucks a meal. If you want to give Thistle a try, every Thistle customer has a referral code. So I'm going to give you mine. What is my referral code? Hold on. This says give 120, get 60. So I think if you use this referral code, you would get a discount off your first subscription meals, and I would get some free meals. So it's a win-win. I've just been telling everybody, friends, family, anyone who would listen about Thistle, because it has been that life-changing for both me and my husband. And even though I've brought down my cholesterol levels significantly, I'm still a customer because it's super delicious and very easy. So I plan to stay with Thistle for as long as I can. Now, aside from Thistle, I would have protein for oats with oatmeal for breakfast every single morning because I absolutely love it. It's my favorite thing. I get excited to wake up to it because I love starting the day with it. It's like probably my favorite food. Protein for Oats is by PE Science. It's a powder that you can mix into your oatmeal, and boom, you've got your 20 grams of protein to start the day. Now, for snacks / fourth meal, I usually have a fourth meal when I'm on PMDD because I'm just like, my appetite increases, so I'm just hungrier. So typically for my fourth meal during that time, it would just be protein again, but I would have it like 7 p.m. My other favorite go-to fourth meal is the miso ginger broth from Trader Joe's with some kimchi and bok choy. Oh, so good. Just thinking about it. Look, I'm drooling. For snacks, I would grab a handful of almonds or a banana. But then I would also kind of like drink my snack. So I would switch between Super Greens, which is also from PE Science, or green tea, or Metamucil, because I also read online that fiber helps to decrease cholesterol. Now let's talk exercise. So exercise was definitely the thing that was the hardest thing for me because I actually had to go out of my way. I had to put in effort. I had to schedule time. My goals on my Apple Watch are set to 400 calories to burn, 30 minutes of exercise to do, and then my stand goal is at 10 hours. So I basically started out, right, to start this out on day one was just to close my rings. And I didn't care how, because I knew I was going from zero, right? Like I was starting at zero. So I didn't have to go run a marathon or anything. I just needed to close my rings. And however I wanted to do that was however I wanted to do that. My husband and I started very easy with like, let's take the dogs for walks somewhere else, right? Like let's drive to a hike. Let's walk a little bit further or something like that. We also have a stationary bike. So another easy thing that I did was I have books I want to read. I have manga that I like reading, and I watch a lot of anime and play a lot of video games. So these are all sedentary things, but I told myself if I wanted to do any of these activities, I would have to be on the stationary bike. So it made it very easy for me to get on the bike because I wanted to read what was happening next in my manga, or I wanted to watch a show, or I wanted to play a video game, and to put that, like, I don't know, that motivating thing of like, okay, I can't do the thing that I really want to do unless I actually jump on the bike, made it easy to jump on the bike. Once I started to get into the rhythm of things, the thing that probably I had the most fun doing, the thing that made the biggest difference in terms of, physical activity contributing to decreasing my cholesterol was Les Mills Body Combat. I've been a fan of Les Mills Body Combat since I first tried it in, I believe it was 2019. I found out about it because it is a class that's taught at my local gym, but there's also a subscription that you can get, right? So like they have a phone app, we have it on Apple TV, and you get access to like all of their programs. But Body Combat for me was just the most fun. It was the thing that I wanted to do, even like forget about hitting goals or anything like that. It's just fun. It's all different kinds of martial arts to good music. The choreography is relatively easy. Like once you do your first whole Body Combat, it's the same moves, but they switch it up based on the music. It's body weight training. It's HIIT training. You don't need any equipment. It's 55 minutes long, but of course, like they have shorter versions and versions that are tailored to working a specific kind of fitness. But it's just so much fun. It's like, I can probably honestly say it's my favorite type of exercise. I'm absolutely a fan of Body Combat. I would love to become a Body Combat teacher one day, but physically I'm not there yet where I can, teach the class and keep up with the class. The second form of exercise that I was am super into is jump roping. I discovered jump roping, the world of jump roping, in October of 2021. I don't know what happened for these jump ropers or the jump rope community to pop up in my Instagram feed, but it's a whole world. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to give this a try, and got immediately hooked. My favorite thing about jump roping is that it's super accessible. All you need is your jump rope. That's it. And boom, you can just start jumping. That's my favorite part about it, because there's you don't have to turn anything on. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't have to, block off time. Like, even in between meetings, if I'm like making coffee or something like that, get a few jumps in. It's so easy. So if you haven't given jump rope a try, like as an adult, it's super fun. And the best part is you get to be the DJ. Like, you put on whatever music you want. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. Next up, let's talk about apps. There are 2 apps that I used. Well, yeah, I guess apps that I use to help me on this journey. And that is my health activity app with my Apple Watch, and then also my MyFitnessPal. And I logged absolutely everything, to the point where, like, was it overkill? Probably, but it made me feel like I was making progress. Like, it made me feel like I was doing everything that I could by being so meticulous with everything. So with my MyFitnessPal, basically, I used it to track every single calorie in and out, right? So first I would log all the things that I ate. Most things were already in here, but if it wasn't accurate, I would go out of my way to make sure it was accurate. Like for the Thistle meals, sometimes the nutrition facts change depending on the ingredients that they use. So I did find myself having to enter, it's like literally I'm going there, calories, total fat, carbs, protein. What was also helpful was like making sure I didn't cross my saturated fat level, right? Because I never did I ever think like, oh, where am I at in terms of my, allotted saturated fat budget for the day? But with this, you can see that, right? Like, you can see based on everything you ate, how far along you are to your limit. You can see exactly, like, here's my daily average steps, right? You can see that there was a huge spike in October. So my average steps were 3,500 before my doctor's appointment, and that went up to 9,500 after my doctor's appointment. My stand hours went from 10 hours to 14 hours. I also think that I kept my watch on for longer because it's like I put it on right when I wake up and I take it off right when I go to bed. Calories burned went from 259 calories a day to 647 calories a day. Exercise minutes went from 26 minutes to 91 minutes a day. Walking and running distance went from 1.6 miles to 4.8. Definitely just trying to move as much as I can. Workouts went from 43 minutes to 1 hour and 23 minutes. You can see how much time I spent exercising. Like, every single day, I really went out of my way to move. Those first couple weeks sucked. It hurt, right? Like, it just, everything that you try for the first time hurts. Like, there's always that period of pain because, you're going from nothing to something. So exerting that effort hurt, but then you get stronger. I like to go to the activity app and see all the rings closed. Each one of these circles symbolizes a day where I put in effort, right? And that's motivating. Like, I want to keep doing that. All right, lastly, mindset, because definitely mindset is a huge part of it. The thing that was really hard about decreasing cholesterol is like having high cholesterol isn't something that I could feel, right? Like, it didn't feel like I had high cholesterol. I think with other things, like, you can feel symptoms, right? Or maybe there were symptoms that I just didn't know. I'm sure everything contributes. And the other thing that was hard was cholesterol is not something that you can check on your own, right? Like, you have to go get your blood drawn, right? With weight, sure, jump on a scale and you can check your weight every day. There were so many times throughout the 3 months where, like, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do without the support of my husband, because Tom really talked me off the ledge so many times, because there were so many times where I felt like, I don't know if this is working. Like I'm doing everything that I can. And the other thing that I had to really think about was that this isn't something that takes like 30 minutes of the day for every day for 3 months. It's a whole lifestyle, right? It's like you go through the day, and every single decision that you make throughout the day is a decision that you can make that can contribute to progress, right? Like it's not just, I'm sure you could do it that way, but that's not the way that I wanted to do it. Like I knew, because my cholesterol levels were so high, that I really wanted to just maximize my effort as much as I can. Like I really wanted the doctor to be like, what the heck? Like, how did you get it down so fast? I was aiming for that. Call me an overachiever, whatever. But you know, I'm an extreme person. So I just wanted to like do everything that I could possibly do that was in my control. But there were a lot of times during that journey where I felt like, what if it's not even working? Because I've never had experience trying to lower my cholesterol before. Like I don't know what is going to make the most difference or what's going to be the most effective. Like, is it nutrition? Is it exercise? Is it, eating more fiber? I honestly think that was for the better, because it made me focus on the process rather than like my progress towards the goalposts, right? Because like in the past, when I've tried to do something like lose weight, I'll have a good day, and then I'll jump on the scale the next day and not see any progress, and then feel like nothing made a difference. I think long term it would have, if I had just kept doing what I was doing, right? But because I would like jump on the scale and be like, meh, it's fine. It was just very easy to focus on the wrong thing, right? But because I couldn't even check the cholesterol level. It was like, okay, for 3 months, you just gotta put in the work. That's it. And you get to check your progress once at the finish line. The other thing I found myself doing was zooming out, right? Like consciously zooming out in terms of not necessarily thinking about daily, but also weekly. So for example, my husband and I would go out for a date night or date lunch, whatever. It's not that I absolutely, banned myself from eating cheese. Like sometimes we would go to one of our favorite restaurants and get eggplant parmesan. Probably that day I had cheese, or my saturated fat might be higher. But I also knew that because I had been eating like low saturated fat, or my saturated fat levels were low for the rest of the days, it's like maybe I'm off budget here. But if the day before or the day after I'm like, I have a surplus left or something like that, then it kind of evens out. I didn't do that too much, but I also wanted to give myself grace, like I didn't want, like, I'm also a human, right? So if I was going to have a cupcake once every, 3 weeks or something. Actually, I don't even think I had a cupcake the entire time, which might not sound like a big deal, but this sweet tooth person here, man, not a week would go by without me going out of my way to get some kind of dessert at least twice a week. Like it was a problem. The other thing was thinking that like, it's not going to be one thing that was going to make a difference. It's not going to be one meal. It's not going to be one, really good workout session. It's a series of decisions that, you just have to be consistent at in order to see significant results. But what made that whole thing easier, or more bearable, I guess, is the 3-month window, right? So like, I feel like New Year's resolutions are insane because, who knows what's going to happen in the year that changes your life priorities, right? But 3 months, it's long enough to see progress, but short enough to feel accomplishable, right? Like it's not that far away. It's 12 weeks. That's it. 12 weeks of just sticking to your process. I read a book a few years ago called The 12-Week Year, which really helped with my approach of doing something or making something a priority for 3 months, like something that you can't change overnight, but something that you do want to make progress with. 3 months. it's the best time window. And obviously the other thing that really helped with mindset was my husband. For the record, his cholesterol is also high. It wasn't as high as mine. So we kind of both had to make some lifestyle changes, but I think it really helps when the person that you live with is supportive of your goals, because it's like, you know, time dedicated to exercise is time away from, you know, time that I could be spending with him or whatever. You know, it's like, well, we used to eat out a lot and now we're not going to because I want to focus on this thing. And of course, you know, like I said, he was the most supportive person, so that was great. But then also to talk me out of those times where I felt like nothing was working, or, you know, I felt like it was just those low points that are going to happen with anything like this, feeling like nothing is really making a difference and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm really thankful that I had an accountability buddy, a supportive, you know, person in my life to help me with that. I needed that. And so, as you can see, it was a combination of a lot of things that helped me to see such a decrease in my cholesterol levels. And I'm so proud of myself. I really want to give myself credit, which is why I'm making this video. The funny thing about lowering my cholesterol levels is I could have done all this anytime, right? But I don't know. I'm just that type of person who needed that wake-up call from the doctor to be like, okay, yeah, you need to do this or else. That also helped me to like, okay, I gotta do this, but not only do I gotta do this, but I want to do my best, right? Like I led every single day with, I want to just do my best. That's all I can do, right? I want to be able to say that I did everything I could. And looking back at these 3 months, I can definitely say that I did that. The best part is I definitely feel it, right? Like I feel the difference. I feel stronger. I feel like I have more endurance. I have more stamina. I don't feel like I have all these cravings that are dictating my life. I honestly feel like almost in the best shape that I've been in, like in my adult life, which is crazy. I thought it was just like, oh yeah, you know, as you get older, it's all downhill from here. But no, that's not true. Feeling weak or feeling tired or all of these things are not something you just have to accept because you're getting older. There might be an underlying indicator as to why you feel that way. So again, a friendly reminder that if you haven't gotten your annual blood work, labs, all of that, test everything, like your cholesterol, your sugar, your sodium, your iron levels, your vitamin B12s and Ds and all these things. Like, get the full thing, because there might be something there that like could easily be addressed. Like maybe you just gotta take a supplement or something like that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.